Hey, you ever feel like no one really sees you? Like if you disappear for a whole week, not a single person would notice. If you're a man, chances are you felt that. Not once, but many times. And I don't mean the kind of loneliness you fix with a date or hangout. I mean that deep silence inside, where even in a crowd, you feel alone. So today, I want to talk to you, not at you, not as an expert, but as a friend who himself has gone through that silence as well. So let's be real. Why are so many men lonely? It's not just because people are busy, it's not because of social media or dating apps. Those things play a role, for sure, but they are just surface level. Underneath it all is something deeper. Men are actually raised to perform and not to connect, to compete, not to reveal, to prove, not to express. From a very young age, we are told don't cry, be strong, do not talk too much about how you feel. So, what do? We stay silent, we wear masks, we laugh at memes while dying inside. We are surrounded by so many people, but no one really knows us because we were never taught how to be known. And that kind of isolation, it builds up slowly, quietly, until one day it becomes unbearable. Now, here's where I want to shift the frame because loneliness isn't just a symptom, sometimes it's a signal, a doorway. What if solitude wasn't an enemy? What if it's a sacred teacher? What if, in our deepest aloneness, we come face to face with the truth of who we are? Not the version people expect, but the self that exists when no one is watching. Maybe that's why so many men feel lost today. Because we have built our lives around being useful, admired, and respected, but never truly ourselves. What if this loneliness isn't a curse, but a calling? What if this ache inside you isn't there to hurt you, but to bring you home to a part of yourself that you have forgotten? Most people spend their lives running from it. But what happens when you finally stop and sit inside that silence? That's when it begins to whisper back. That's when you start to remember who you are beneath all that noise. Here's the brutal part no one likes to say out loud. Most men are emotionally starved, not for sex, not for attention, but for a connection that actually feels safe. To be able to sit with someone and not have to perform, to speak and not be judged, to break down and not be seen as weak. So, how do you get that when you have been told all your life not to feel anything? So, we become experts at numbing ourselves, grind, scroll, distract, joke it off, drink it down. But the loneliness never really leaves because the one thing we truly need, emotional intimacy, is the one thing we've never been allowed to ask for. And here's the kicker. Many men, they don't even know that they're lonely. They just feel restless, empty, like something's missing, and they can't name it. So what now? Do we just accept this as male condition, suffer quietly until we burn out? No, that's the old path, that's the sleepwalking. Here's the turn, and it's subtle, but changes everything. Instead of trying to fix our loneliness, why don't we become friends with it? What if we start treating our solitude as a sacred space, a space where our real self could begin to breathe, not through noises, not through distractions, but through stillness, writing, walking, silence, and surrender? When you stop running from loneliness, you realize it isn't just a void, it's a mirror. And that's where love begins, not with somebody else, but with the part of you that's been waiting for you to be seen. So if you're a man who is feeling lonely right now, understand this. You're not broken. You're just awakening. Awakening to the world where you don't have to pretend anymore, where you don't have to stay silent, where your solitude isn't punishment, it's power. Don't numb it. Don't run away from it. Sit with it. Let's speak. Because a man who learns to become friend with his own loneliness, that man becomes unshakable. And if no one's told you this today, you're not alone. Not here, not anymore.